I say on here all the time, this is not an agenda-driven channel. Everybody is fair game. This channel is built on the opinion of one, me. Sometimes I'm right, sometimes I'm wrong, but whatever I'm saying, it's what I'm thinking in the moment. There is no agenda behind it. It's whatever I'm feeling, whatever I'm thinking. Yes, in most cases, the videos I make, we're going after the wanker spankers, but that's because they are often the ones participating in the stupidity and the insanity. When Clay Travis had his moment of insanity last summer, making a scene at his kid's Little League baseball game by going after an umpire, we called him out for it. I often agree with Clay Travis politically, but that doesn't mean I can't call him out when I think he's wrong. That doesn't mean I ignore it when I feel like Clay Travis is acting like an unhinged baboon. Don Lemon. Don Lemon has been one of the most targeted media personalities here on the channel. Go look through the archives here on YouTube at how many times we have called out Don Lemon for being a complete fraud. Just because I don't agree with Donnie politically, it doesn't mean I can't call out conservative media for attacking him for speaking the truth. Conservative media, they were using the same tactics against Don Lemon that they complain about the woke media using against them. Matter of fact, I want to take 1 second here to give credit to Candace Owens. She was one of the only people in conservative media that came to the defense of Don Lemon. She basically said the same thing I did. Donnie told the truth. When you don't have an agenda, when you're not in this business to make friends, it frees you up to speak your mind freely. Something that clearly is not happening on the set of The View. The View, home of the Yentas. For the past 2 or 3 decades, The View has been a platform supposedly dedicated to women. They are quick to come to the defense of women. If you're going to be a part of Club Yenta, you must subscribe to the notion that women are always in the right. The View is the definition of agenda-driven content. If you don't want to take my word for it, I'll show you the proof. As you guys know, KC always comes with the proof. It has now been a full week since Donnie and his lemons triggered the sensitive birthing persons in the mainstream media, which, by the way, this overreaction to Don Lemon, this is further proof that there is no loyalty in the woke movement. Don the Lemon, he has been a loyal comrade since the beginning. Donnie is a wanker spanker's wet dream. He checks multiple woke boxes. He has permanent job security because he identifies with so many protected, marginalized groups. Don Lemon has been loyal. He has promoted every myth, every fairy tale deacons at Woke United Methodist asked him to promote. But the one time he speaks the truth, they force him into sensitivity training. My inside sources tell me part of Donnie's punishment and sensitivity training was staring at pictures of Olivia Dunn in a bikini. For the rest of us, that would be a reward. For Donnie, it was a traumatic experience. Over the last week, every mainstream media outlet has reacted to the comments of Don Lemon. Besides myself and Candace Owens, and I think Tucker Carlson, every media outlet has attacked Don Lemon for having the audacity to say women have prime years and Nikki Haley is well past hers. Conservative outlets attack Joe Biden on a daily basis for being past his prime. That's acceptable. But if you mention the prime years of a woman, that's no bueno. The beautiful woke women on The View, they have filled the air with toxic mouth farts on 4 separate occasions since Donnie told Nikki Haley she was postmenopause. This has been the biggest story in the mainstream media for a week now. Not only is this a major story, it's a story involving the woke definition of a man criticizing the age of a woman. This should be the perfect victim material for The View, right? Not only do you have toxic masculinity, you also have mythical misogyny and mythical ageism. You could even make the case this qualifies for mythical racism. When it's convenient for Nikki Haley, she chooses to identify as Native American, one of the favorite marginalized groups. Oh, KC, how can you say that? Nikki Haley is proud of her Native American heritage. Yeah, I'm sure she is. That's probably true. But when she was a civilian before entering the world of bribery and politics, Nikki Haley identified as a white woman. If you don't believe me, go check out her voter registration. Anyway, this battle between Don and Nick supplies the perfect ingredients for a woke smoothie. The group of yentas on The View, they are master chefs in the woke kitchen. So let me ask you a question. How come the Power Hour of Girl Power has failed to mention Don Lemon one time in the past 7 days? Not only have they failed to mention the Don, the whoopee cushion actually doubled down on his comments and failed to give him credit. Monday morning on The View, 4 beautiful women in the whoopee cushion were talking about Nikki Haley. The ladies, they were real mad, especially the whoopee. Producers, they brought out the air compressor along with a plate filled with bean burritos to ensure the whoopee cushion had a steady supply of toxic air. They were upset because Nikki Haley wants politicians over the age of 75 to be cognitively tested. I can partially understand why they would be upset about this. Some of these women on The View, they're over the age of 75, while some of these women on The View choose to identify as being over the age of 75. Now, I apologize in advance for exposing you guys to this filth. Watch The View discuss Nikki Haley and her views on age while completely ignoring Don Lemon. Roll the film.
Not a new generation. You're 51. What are you talking about?
Compared to DC, that's a new generation.
Well, but it's not a new generation. She may be younger than most of those people, but her rhetoric is the same. She's saying the same BS, and I love the young kid, but you know what? The only way you're going to get younger people to run, dude, is if you're out there talking to people and saying run. Don't sit here and say we need it to look like us. We know that, but we're not going to vote for people who don't have our best interests at heart. Yeah. Okay?
And also people that don't have experience. I think what's interesting in this country, and I think we're one of the only countries in the world that don't value age, don't value experience. I mean, I remember when my grandmothers were alive, I would sit at their feet and just take in the lessons and everything that they had to say. And now it's like, oh, you're too old. Well, really, because when that person is gone, so is that institutional knowledge. And it just makes me sick. Or how dare she say that someone over 75 needs some sort of mental acuity test?
First off, where is all the fake outrage? The whoopee cushion essentially echoed the same sentiment that Don Lemon did. Don Lemon said Nikki Haley was past her prime. The whoopee cushion said she's 51, she's not part of a new generation. Same sentiment, different words. So, how come there is no fake outrage with the whoopee? Second, and I can't believe I'm saying this, but I partially agree with son Hostin. As a society, we need to have more respect for the older generation, older people. With that being the case, how come shitfucks like son Hostin didn't show that same level of respect to Donald Trump? Last I checked, the Trumper was in his 70s. When he was in office, they were constantly pushing for him to be cognitively tested. But when Joey Biden is president, all of a sudden, there's no need for one. The guy falls off bikes. He somehow manages to fall up the stairs. Most people trip, fall downstairs. Our president is so good, he falls upstairs. He struggles at times to complete coherent sentences. For the love of God, he chose Kamala Harris to be his vice president. That decision alone should be reason enough for Joe Biden to undergo testing. Nikki Haley, she is not talking about testing a 75-year-old man who's applying to be the bedpan swapper at Woke Memorial Hospital. She's talking about testing older people responsible for running the country. Now, some in the mainstream media, they are defending The View ignoring Don Lemon by claiming Monday's highly produced garbage was pre-recorded. ABC, they decided to give the ladies the day off for President's Day so they could remove statues of Thomas Jefferson and Abraham Lincoln. More than likely, Monday's episode was recorded Thursday or maybe Friday, so The View, they still had plenty of opportunity to mention Don Lemon. They were broadcasting live both Tuesday and Wednesday of this week. No mention of Don Lemon. Why? Why? This situation seems like the perfect topic for a show centered around girl power. So why has The View completely ignored Don Lemon? I came up with two possible reasons. Number one, most of these yentas have personal or professional ties to Donnie. Anna Navarro, Alyssa Griffin, they are currently collecting woke welfare from CNN. Their official title is commentator, meaning they're paid to promote propaganda. Son Hostin, she used to work with Donnie at CNN as a legal analyst. Joy Behar, she used to host a show on HLN titled Intolerable Fuck. Even though there are plenty of ties to Donnie and CNN on Power Hour of Girl Power, that hasn't stopped them from criticizing the network in the past. When Chris Cuomo, hey, it's me, Chrissy C. When he was ignoring the transgressions of his brother Andy, The View blasted CNN on a daily basis. They ripped into Chrissy C so hard, it took months of Preparation H treatment just for him to be able to sit comfortably. So, The View having ties to CNN, it doesn't explain why they're ignoring Don Lemon. I think the real reason is this put them in a lose-lose situation. This is common. This is what happens when you create a platform that is agenda-driven. The View, they can't criticize Don Lemon for mythical misogyny. He's a dual minority. He identifies as both the G and the B. They are also not allowed to even pretend to come to the defense of Nikki Haley because she identifies as the wrong letter of the alphabet, R. So, what do the ladies of The View do? They pretend like this never happened. They ignore one of the biggest stories in the media that fits perfectly on their platform. I mean, you can't make this shit up. And then they wonder why 70, 75, 80% of the country has zero trust in the mainstream media. This right here is an example of why. None of this is real. None of this is real. Damn near everything in the mainstream media is an illusion. We've known this for years with the woke media, but Don Lemon, he unintentionally exposed the conservative media too. If I'm not mistaken, Tucker Carlson also defended him earlier this week, but most conservative media outlets, they attacked him just because he was Don Lemon. But anyway, give me your thoughts. The View completely ignores Donnie. I gave you two possible reasons. Give me yours. Sound off in the comments below. Make sure to like and subscribe. Click the notification bell to receive all notifications from the channel. Best way to contact me is by email at btlkc84@gmail.com, KC_BTL84 on Twitter. I'll see you guys later.